See, people do talk about Crusader, don't they? They say, well, Crusader, that's the reason why Saxon went through a period where they weren't as popular as they might have been. And I remember Crusader being an album that I listened to and thought, I don't know. I was at college at that point. But listening back to it, it is a fantastic Van Halen type album. And, it's a great album, but not the album that Saxon should have made. This one might have been. It's the album after that. It's their first for EMI, after they had a bit of a falling out with Carrere. And it's called Innocence is No Excuse. Made in 85, and it split fans, to be honest. It's half and half. So you're never going to get back to, you're never going to get back to denim and leather and all of that. You're never going to get back to that with this incarnation or this period of Saxon. They have become a very metallic offer recently, and that's great. However, bit of windy pops there. My scowl's coming back. And this is a bit of both. So they really want to do a bit of rocking, but they realise in 85 that AOR is the big thing in the charts, and so is softer rock. So they want to do a bit of that as well. There's a track here. If give it everything you've got. The final track. I'm looking at my notes because I've only heard this album once, and I thought I discounted it immediately. I was wrong, but there's nothing that's going to bring me back over and over again, except perhaps that final track. Give it everything you've got, which is actually, it's a Van Halen deep cut. It really is. It's got that kind of drumming, that kind of softer drumming, and a real Eddie Van Halen style riff and guitar solo massively. But here you've got things like an off the peg US chorus. A US rock chorus in Rockin' Again. No G there. There's no G. It's apostrophe, folks. Rockin' Again. It's a big pumper. It's got a kind of, later on, it'll push the beat, and it's a kind of gated drum feel, because that was popular then, folks. Oh, yes. Call of the Wild is more metallic. So it's almost as if they're saying, look, we're back. We used to do this, and we can still do it. But the verse has got a bit of a sheen or a syrup spread over it. There's a gang chorus, and then a bit of Van Halen, like they were doing in Crusader. It's okay, but only that, really. But it's not as AOR as back on the streets. That soft chorus, I mean, it's not as good as so many AOR bands out there of the time. Not half as good. It tries, but it doesn't make it for me. I like the UFO chorus in Rock and Roll Gypsy. What's a great title for a track, isn't it? Rock and Roll Gypsy. And that's really nice. Really nicely done. But again, you see, UFO are softer. And I eschewed them, bless you, for ages until I realised, oh, that's what they're trying to sound like, yeah. Or rather, that's what they sound like. Not trying anything, are they? They weren't trying to do anything, UFO. They just were brilliant. Anyway, Saxon are brilliant as well. But here they're not so good, Well, there are moments. Gonna Shout sounds like Kiss. It sounds like proto-hair metal, to be honest, with those sharp riffs and that basic beat. It's got a Kiss, rock, shout, chorus. Big sassy solo, simple, effective, really nice. And I like the groove in Raise Some Hell as well. They raise a little bit, tiny bit. There's plenty of hell to go round, because they haven't taken that much, to be honest. It's actually too simple, this track. Once you've got the metallic solo out of the way, which is rather nice, big gang shouts and all of that. We've heard it before several times on this album, because you're going to get that in Devil Rides Out as well. It's at least it's got a sassy riff to it. It's got a demonstrative solo, which almost saves it. But the chorus is so unremarkable. And generally, they don't quite know what they want to be. There was some stirrings in America of, well, actually, maybe. And, I mean, Raven suffered from this as well for years. And so there's a little bit of that in there, but not enough. So it's not enough of one thing. It's not, oh, that's AOR, or, oh, that's another Van Halen type track or type album, or were they going for a big US theatrical arena sound, which might have really served them? It's neither one thing nor the other. And innocence may be no excuse, but also trying to break America isn't either. Ta-ta.